So I love real estate. It's obviously no secret, and it's no surprise that many others love it too. It is a hot topic, especially as of late because of all that has happened with prices during such an insane event of our lives, such as the pandemic. So the beauty about being a full-time realtor with my boots on the ground is that I get to share real life information with my clients in live time and from various pockets, neighborhoods, and regions as I work across the GTA, primarily in Toronto, York, and Durham region. So as shifts happen, we're the ones that actually see it, because what the news reports or the articles put out, or Uncle Bobby at dinner who hasn't traded in real estate in over the last 20 years, or Aunt Becky who maybe sold or bought her house a couple months ago, isn't taking into consideration is that they're not in the trenches experiencing the minute details of the market dynamics on a micro and macro scale. And they're actually usually behind with the reporting. Now, as someone who deals with both buyers and sellers, I have a unique perspective when it comes to the market because I'm able to see both sides of the transaction and the experience of each. This is important because while each have their own objectives, as their broker, they're entrusting me to know what it is I'm talking about, which actually comes from true life day-to-day experience. So right now we are seeing a pivot. Overall showings are down. No, things are not dying down, just a little bit of slowdown when it comes to showing activity. And there is a fundamental reason for this. Now, they're basically being spread out because more homes are actually coming onto the market. Now, this aggressive underlist, hold an offer date strategy isn't working for every home like it was a couple weeks ago. Some home sellers aren't getting that price that they wanted on offer night, or I've heard of some stories of homes not receiving any offers on offer night, and then they're relisting and going back to market at a price that they think is fair market value. And something that I tell my buyer clients is that buyers' mentality is different when they're competing against 2 or 3 offers versus 5 to 7 versus 10 plus. The less offers on that table, the less that buyers are willing to go all in with their dollar. Now, what the news or Aunt Becky or Uncle Bob aren't seeing and aren't telling you is that in the last 30 days, 28% of home sellers in Durham region have changed their pricing strategy, and 26% of sellers in York region changed their pricing strategy. That being said, home prices are still remaining very strong. Now, in York region, the average cost of a home is $1.58 million, which is 4% higher than January. In Durham region, the average cost of a home is $1.22 million, which is 4.5% higher than January. But what's interesting to note here is that from December to January, we've seen an increase of 14% in month-to-month prices. So as we move through the year and we see more homes become available for sale as interest rates rise, as COVID restrictions lift, we're going to see that once insane demand be really spread out into the marketplace. And this is healthy. This is a good thing. This is very much welcomed. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean that prices are going to be taking a dive off a cliff. It simply means that the acceleration of home prices is going to start to level off and stabilize as we sort of nestle into these new price benchmarks because the heat of that wild competition is coming off. Now, the first 2 months of this year was completely insane. So what we're witnessing today is actually encouraging and very, very welcomed. Now, I think that many people, including realtors, are kind of having this sigh of relief because when a market gets accelerated this much, this fast, the only real winners here is the sellers, the ones that are selling and exiting the market. And because it's stressful otherwise. It's stressful to be a homeowner that you're having to sell and then buy in the same market. It's also frustrating for first-time home buyers, which I totally get it. This year, I also was not only helping my clients, but I was the client. So being a buyer in this level of high demand and low inventory was completely bonkers. But I'm here to tell you that if you weren't able to make a move and lock something in and decide to take a pause, all is good. Now might actually be your time to shine. Now, we're starting to see this shift from everything under the sun, selling with properties that had no business getting the price that they got, to now seeing the properties that, yes, look HGTV worthy, will always be in high demand because of their location, just overall showcased really well, still sell for great prices in a quick amount of time. But the properties that maybe are a little bit outdated or aren't staged, are not really marketed that well, maybe they have, certain flaws, are the ones that are taking a little bit longer to sell and adjusting their pricing strategy. And you may be wondering, well, okay, Alice, but why? What's causing this shift? Well, I hear a lot of people say interest rates. Sure, yeah, but we knew that this was coming and fixed rates were going up before the Bank of Canada made their announcement anyways. Obviously, buyer fatigue is a huge proponent. While people were losing after bidding war after bidding war, essentially those same buyers were offering on the same properties time and time again. So buyers have decided to wait till more inventory came out, and alas, it's coming. In New York region, listings are up 33%, in Toronto 23%, and in Durham 38% month over month. So don't be fooled, it is still a seller's market when measuring the demand relative to the supply. However, we've gone from a really hot, sizzling seller's market to now typically a really good seller's market. There is still under 1 month of supply in many regions, meaning there's still not enough homes available to satisfy all the amount of buyers wanting to buy a home. But another trend that I'm witnessing is a lot of sellers accepting preemptive or bully offers. And typically a seller would look at a preemptive because the offer price is so good that they wouldn't want to wait till offer night. But in the last 2 months, the market was so hot that nobody was taking bully offers when they had 100 plus showings booked in 48 hours and 10 people looking to make a bully, right? Like, why would you? So it made sense to make buyers wait till the offer night, especially when you had zero competition. But now sellers are getting a little bit worried as competition comes onto the market, as there's less showings, and maybe they have already purchased a property, so now they need to sell. So I think over the next coming months, weeks, we're still going to see offer dates, but it's not going to be as heated. You may be able to get your preemptive accepted. You may even be able to put a home inspection condition in the offer, and more sellers are going to think twice about using that offer date strategy. We will see more homes come onto the market at market price and a price that the seller expects, because we're going to be continue to see homes come onto the market, which will spread out demand. COVID restrictions are being lifted and people want to live, so less thought will be on real estate. So before I conclude this video, sellers, it's still a market where the cards are in your hands based on the numerical fundamentals, but choose your strategy wisely. This isn't a time to cut corners, so make sure your marketing is top notch. Buyers, you don't want to take your foot off the gas. Obviously, don't rush into the first thing that you see, unless it's the one, of course. So stay diligent, stay hungry, block out all that noise that veers you off from the path to home ownership. Now is your time. The market's not at the bottom. It went from this to now this. For how long? Nobody knows, but don't wait to try and time the market. That doesn't work. Get into the market and wait. If you have a 5 to 10 year mindset, anything that you purchase now is going to put you ahead of the game. So there you have it. If you have any questions, my name is Alice Prince. Feel free to reach out to me directly. All of the contact information is in the bio.